social injustice. First of all, let's start with the definition of social injustice. Social injustice is a concept of fair and just relations between the individual and the society, as measured by distribution of wealth, opportunities for personal activity, and social privileges. That is one of the definitions of social injustice. And it also states that social injustice is also the way unjust actions are done in the society. Social injustice occurs in situations where the equal are treated unequally and the unequal are treated equally. Now, there are three common examples of social injustice. They are discrimination, ageism, and homophobia. Discrimination is when you're being discriminated based on your sex, your religion, your belief, your weight, your height. If you are being discriminated for or deprived of getting the same privilege that other people have just because of the way you look, talk, act, or who you are, that is when that is discrimination. An example is getting pulled over just because you're black. Just stopping, choke holding you just because you're black. Two is then brings me to ageism. Ageism is when you were considered old, when younger ones basically feel like you're old and you shouldn't be doing things. You shouldn't be wearing skinny jeans if you're old. You shouldn't be driving if you're old, shopping if you're old. You shouldn't be at the bar if you're old. All that. You should mind the way you talk. Don't talk like you were young, or don't use their little phonetics if you're young. Basically, you're considered old by the younger generation, trying to deprive you of job opportunities and stuff like that, and everything like that. Third, homophobia. Homophobia is is a sort of social injustice that happens to people that are either gay or lesbian or both. People who feel like just because this person is gay, the person don't fit in the society, it doesn't fit in our group. Just because they are lesbian, they don't fit in this, they can't do this job. Like, let's say, for example, joining the army, joining the military, something like that. Considering someone being a gay or lesbian that can't join the military because you feel like they don't belong to that. That is discrimination. Well, social injustice has brought us a long way in America, and it is being fought. Like, there has been a whole lot of fight, rallies, demonstrations, and all that. But lately, this year is being crazy. 2020 has been crazy because of what happened to people by the police, and between the police and the black people, and that has been so bad. So we try to talk to a few people, and we ask them how they feel. So I'm going to let you hear from the horse's mouth so you can see how they feel about social injustice. The latest movement in America, or the most, should I say the most effective movement in America this year has been the Black Lives Matter. So I need you to see and hear from the few people that we spoke to, and to see what they have to say, what they have felt, what they have experienced about social injustice. Listen.
So the day after New Year's, I was in Las Vegas, Nevada, just on a little vacation. We got to an intersection across the street to go to a different hotel. Got to the middle, light changed, got kind of caught in the middle of the street, in between both sides of traffic. Went ahead and ran across so I wouldn't be, caught. I was grabbed from behind by a cop. He grabbed my arm, put me against the wall, and was like, did I have any weapons or whatever? And I asked him what was he doing, like, You know, at this point I was getting pretty angry already because I hadn't done anything. He said I was jaywalking. And at that time I got a little angry, and then I asked him, you know, why was he doing all of this for jaywalking?
Statistics show that in New York City alone, in 2018, 88% of police stops were of Black and Latino people.
Put me against the wall, he patted me down, really invasive pat down. And this is 9:30, 10 o'clock at night in the middle of the Las Vegas Strip on New Year's weekend. So, I mean, it was crowded full of people. People were walking by with their cameras, looking. He finally got done, patted me down. And they had me there for a minute, asked for my ID until his, one of his, you know, colleagues or whatever came over and was like, you know, what are you doing? He's not even local, just give his ID back. So the other cop got my ID back, gave it to me, said he was sorry, and I went on about my day. I hadn't been drinking, I had just left my room, not really sure why, you know. It was necessary to be treated that way, like a criminal in the middle of the street in Las Vegas. It made me angry, it was really embarrassing.
Of that 88%, 70% of those stops were completely innocent.
I'm an educator. Talking to one of my Caucasian colleagues, she shared a Black Lives Matter point of view. She walks in a grocery store one day and sees an African American man. She walks upon him and says, "Hi, sir, can you help me with something?" He looks up to her and says, "I don't work here." Then she walks down an aisle and someone approaches her, "Are you the hiring manager?" And she says, "No, why would you ask me if I'm the hiring manager?" She said, "There is white privilege."
In the U.S., Black workers are less likely than white workers to be employed at a job that is consistent with their level of education.
That part wasn't the first time I've had an issue like that. I can go through several other stories, but you know, that was just the most recent, the most one of the ones that got me really riled up.
She hates that it's like this, that looking at one Black man, you determine who he is based only on his color. People approach her on several occasions thinking she's in upper management, when she has no badge, no label, no jacket, nothing to say, "I'm management material." Then you have the African American guy who appears to be doing that type of work.
Because we human just like everybody else. We breathe just like everybody else. We walk just like everybody else. But yet we still get mistreated. So
but you know, I think what people don't understand is that as an African American, that you deal with this on a daily basis. Fortunately, I didn't die. Nothing happened. I was angry, and I was saying a lot of things that, you know, could have escalated the situation, but I was angry. I had the right to be angry.
That's like a major problem, and it's been ongoing for such a long time that it's gonna change a lot down the line. And I don't think people see it as such an important issue because there's a lot of hate everywhere dealing with races and everything. So it's like that may not seem big to some people, but it affects a lot. And so if it'll change though, we can get past that and we'll be on to something better. You know what I'm saying? More things will change dealing with our country, and a lot will go down to where it might be a whole new economy, everything. Like everything will change for the better if that'll change. You know,
I know it hits the news and a lot of people get involved when people pass away, but that's what a lot of people deal with every day. So I think I'm glad to see people getting out and talking about it more. I'm glad to see the conversation, you know, entering a lot of rooms that it probably didn't before. So
people look at racism like a fad and not like a sickness, and they treat it like it's normal. I feel like it's not fair that most people of other races, you know, when they ready to go home to their family or they want to run to the store or what have you, their lives are not threatened, or they're not scared if they see a police or get stopped by a police. And we have to be precautious just for being Black.
My life matters because it was given to me. I didn't choose to be here. My life matters because anything can lie ahead. I can make a big change that everyone will need, no matter what your skin color is.
We can't be all created equal if we're getting the short end of the stick based solely on our skin color. We are just as important in this world as any other race. We're tired of seeing African Americans being killed because someone does not like the color of their skin. It's not fair, it's an injustice, and we're not taking it anymore. We're taking a stand, and we need everyone in the world to acknowledge that Black lives matter.
I'm a Black life.
I am a Black life.
I'm a Black life.
I am a Black life.
I am a Black life, and I matter.
And I matter.
And I matter.
And I matter.
And I matter.